Hi, I promised all the backers of my Kickstarter a video on how I play submission Jenga. So let's get to it. That's what my list that comes out every month is all about. I like to find all the calls that I find interesting, normally in the speculative genre. Of course, I look for the ones that pay and never any submission fees. And then if there's some that intrigue me, like for example, I always love the apex flash fiction ones. They're always like intriguing, a little bit weird. And then I start and write 1,000 words. In fact, that's how Roxy Vegas started, which will probably be my next Kickstarter, because I've been doing a serial fiction with her on Substack, but she started as a flash fiction prompt from Apparition Lit, which doesn't exist anymore, but it had a picture of a man smoking a cigarette in like this really dank bar that kind of looked alien. And I'm like, that's cool. But I didn't want to write about a man. I'd rather write about a really rough woman. And what if she was a space trucker on break? And what if she had a horrible gambling addiction? And Roxy Vega was born. So what I end up doing is I send those stories out, usually at 1,000 words first. When I can't find them a home, I'm like, okay, maybe they need to be expanded. So then I take the idea and it becomes a 2,000 word story or a 3,000 word story. Then I go through my chart and I send it to the next place. And I keep track of all of these on a chart, just like this. And I also keep track of where I send them, so I don't send Neil Clark the same story 25 times. I do it old school. I know a lot of people use Submission Grinder, but I remember the day it went down and there was like mass panic in my writing group. So for me, I prefer the charts. It's kind of like pablum for my brain. I love filling them in. Filling in the Excel docs, doing my little check marks, keeping track of which stories get rejected. I always like to make a note of when they get rejected so I know if a market is fast with their rejections, like The Dark, or if I send a story to some of these lit magazines and you're liable to wait 6 months to sometimes even a year. Then if I get enough of them all together, the plan is to string them into a novella like I have with Roxy Vega. I have a couple more in the works that aren't quite done yet. Anyway, I follow Highland's rules, which is, you have to write, you must put it to market, and then you keep it to market until it sells, right? And you only revise to the needs of an editor. Now that one I don't follow because I always feel my craft is improving. And sometimes I read a story and go, ew, man, that opening doesn't grab me. Or what was I thinking? I need more try-fail cycles. And then I'll edit them. But anyway, I don't take the rejections to heart. I think that's made me stand out in the writing world, is that I will just take those rejections. I sub and sub and sub and sub and sub. And it's just a matter of numbers. You are more likely to get a win and sell a story the more you get out there. And the more stories you have out there, the more editorial feedback you're going to get, which then improves you as a writer. And, the merry-go-round of your writing voyage just goes on and on and on. Ultimately, though, we have to remember to have fun. And that we're doing this because we enjoy it, because we love it. Because I'm telling you, I've tried to find the money in writing, and it's challenging. You can make far more money writing nonfiction, which is why my paying job is as a journalist, which of course lends nicely into me doing the research for the markets for all of us. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. Good luck in your submission, Jenga. And I hope to meet you all one day in person at a con. Conferences are my new love. They're so energizing. And every time I go to one, I find my career and my dreams take a step forward. Okay, Toodles.